The starship Eclipse Dawn floated silently in the endless dark of space. Outside, there was no light, no stars, only a deep blue void that felt colder than death. Inside the ship, long hallways were empty, and the engines hummed at a weak, uneven rhythm. Something was wrong. Something had gone very wrong. In the medical bay, everything was quiet except for the soft beep-beep of a monitor. A human man, Commander Rian Hale, lay on a metal bed. His eyes were closed, his skin pale, and his breathing slow and heavy. His body was strapped to the bed to stop him from falling during turbulence. He looked peaceful, but the machines around him told a different story. His heart rate kept dropping. His oxygen levels kept falling. Every beeping sound was a warning that he was slipping away. The medbay door suddenly opened with a sharp metallic hiss. Dr. Lyra, the ship's alien medic, stepped inside. Her skin was a pale silver-blue color, and her eyes glowed softly like cold water in moonlight. Her species, the Vayreen, were known for calm logic and strong minds. But today, even she looked worried. Her steps were fast, almost panicked. She moved directly to Rian's bed and checked the monitor with trembling hands. She whispered to herself in a soft voice, "No, this can't be right." Rian's life signs were dropping faster now. His heartbeat was slowing like a machine running out of power. Lyra leaned closer and touched his forehead. His skin felt cold, too cold for a living human. Her voice shook as she said, "Rian, you must stay with me, you must." She tapped the screen again, checking the readings. His blood pressure was collapsing. His neural activity was unstable. There was something strange in his blood. Something she had never seen before. A quiet alarm blinked red. Toxin detected. Lyra's eyes widened. "Poison," she whispered. "But how?" She stood still for 2 seconds, her mind racing. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't sickness. This was an attack. The ship shook suddenly, just a small tremor, but enough to rattle the tools on the table. Lyra grabbed the edge of the bed to steady herself. The lights flickered for a moment, then returned to normal. What was that? She muttered. She ran to the control panel on the wall and tapped the screen. Most systems were in critical condition. Communications were offline. Navigation was locked. Power was dropping. Someone had tampered with the ship. Fear spread through her chest like ice. She had never felt fear like this before. She looked back at Rian and whispered, "If he dies, the mission dies, everything dies." Rian suddenly gasped, a weak, painful breath that made his whole body shake. His eyes opened. Slightly, just a thin line. Lyra rushed back to him. "Rian, don't move," she said quickly. "You are poisoned. Your body is failing. Please stay still." Rian tried to speak, but only a soft whisper came out. "Lyra, you have to stop the ship." Lyra bent closer. "Stop the ship? Why? What happened?" Rian's eyes rolled weakly. Sweat formed on his forehead. He forced out 3 more words. "They are coming." Lyra's heart dropped. She spoke urgently. "Who is coming?" "Rian, stay with me." "Who is coming?" But Rian's eyes closed again. His head fell to the side. The monitor beeped faster now, showing his heart struggling to keep going. Lyra's hands moved quickly. She prepared a stimulant, hoping it would keep his heart active. But the toxin was spreading too fast. Every second counted. The ship shook again, harder this time. The lights dimmed. A loud metallic thud came from somewhere outside the medbay, like something heavy hitting the ship's hull. Lyra froze. Another thud. Then another. Something, or someone, was trying to get in. She slowly looked at the medbay door. It vibrated slightly with each strike. Her breath caught in her throat. "No, not now," she whispered. She positioned herself in front of Rian's bed, her eyes fixed on the door. The room was silent except for the weak beeping of the monitor. Then the Door made a long, slow creaking sound, thought it was opening. Lyra whispered, almost begging, "Please. Not now." Rian's fingers twitched as if he sensed danger, but he could not move. A shadow appeared through the narrow opening, and everything went still. The med bay door slid open only a small distance. A thin shadow entered the room. The lights flickered. Again, as if the ship itself was afraid of what was coming. Dr. Lyra stood frozen. Her breathing became shallow and her hands felt cold. She had never seen anything break into a secure room on this ship. Not once, not ever. The shadow stepped closer, and the shape slowly became clear. It was a small drone. Its metal frame was damaged. One of its wings was broken. Sparks jumped from its side as it tried to keep moving. The drone collapsed on the floor, and its blue light faded. Lyra stared at it with wide eyes. That drone was one of the ship's security units. It should be patrolling the halls. It should be active. Someone had attacked it. Lyra stepped forward and slowly bent down. She touched the broken drone. It was warm as if it had been in a fight. A small screen on its back flashed a message. The text was broken, but still readable. Warning: unknown life forms on board. Crew in danger. Do not trust anyone. Lyra felt her heart jump. She looked toward the dark corners of the med bay. She felt watched. She felt hunted. She whispered, "Unknown life forms. How many? How did they enter the ship?" The monitor beside Rian beeped louder. His heartbeat dropped again. The warning sound filled the room like a cry for help. Lyra rushed back to him. His body was shaking. His skin had turned a darker shade. The poison was spreading even faster now. Lyra spoke softly, "Rian, stay with me. You must stay awake. Tell me who is coming." Rian opened his eyes only a little. They looked dull. They looked tired. He forced out a few words. "They followed us. They want the core. Stop them, please." Lyra felt confusion mixed with fear. The ship's energy core was the most important part of their mission. Without it, the mission had no purpose. With it, enemies could destroy many worlds. She tried to ask more, but Rian drifted out again. His head fell to the side. His breathing slowed. Her hands shook as she prepared a new injection. She prayed it would keep him alive a little longer. Then the ship made a deep shudder. This time it felt stronger than before. Tools slid across tables. A tray fell on the floor. Lights dimmed until the room looked like twilight. Somewhere in the distance, an alarm began to echo. A long rising tone that warned of a breach. Lyra looked at the medbay door. She knew the unknown life forms were getting closer. She ran to the wall panel and tried to lock the door again. The system refused. The screen showed a red message, "Override active. Access denied." Lyra stepped back. Her legs felt weak. She turned toward Rian, who lay helpless on the bed. He trusted her to keep him safe. The mission trusted her too. She could not fail. She grabbed a small scanner from the table and pointed it at the air. The device beeped and showed moving shapes around the hallway beyond the door. The shapes crawled along the walls. They moved in strange patterns. They had no clear form. They looked like living shadows. Lyra whispered, "This is impossible. They are inside the ship." Suddenly something scratched the outside of the door. A sharp dragging sound, then another and another. Lyra stepped back until she reached the side of the bed. Her body trembled from fear. Her mind raced to find a plan. She grabbed a metal tool. It was the only thing she could use as a weapon. The scratching stopped. A heavy silence filled the room. Lyra waited. Nothing moved. The silence was worse than the noise. Silence meant they were thinking. Silence meant they were watching. She whispered, "Rian, you must wake up. I cannot face them alone." Rian's eyes opened a little. He struggled to lift his head. He saw her fear and tried to speak. His lips barely moved. "They are hunters. They track heat. They track movement. Stay still. Lyra stopped breathing. For a moment, she stood perfectly still. The air felt heavy. Her heart pounded loud inside her ears. She could not tell if the shadows behind the door were moving or not. Then the door made a soft click. It was unlocking again. Lyra stepped in front of Rian. Her voice was quiet but strong. You will not touch him. The door opened wider. And something stepped inside. The door opened slowly, and a cold breath of air slipped into the med bay. The lights flickered again, as if something dark was swallowing their power. Dr. Lyra held her small metal tool tightly. Her heart hammered inside her chest. She could not see the creature at first. Only darkness filled the doorway like a living fog. Then a shape moved. It was thin and long. Its body shifted like smoke. Its arms stretched in strange ways. It had no clear face. Only two glowing white eyes floated in the dark shape. The creature entered the room with silent steps. Each movement felt unnatural. It moved like something that did not belong in this universe. Lyra felt fear rise in her throat. She had seen many alien forms before. None of them looked like this. The creature tilted its head as if studying her. The glowing eyes blinked slowly. Then the creature took one quiet step toward Rian. Lyra lifted her tool. Her voice shook, but her words stayed strong. Stay away from him. The creature did not react. It continued moving closer. Its body brushed against the floor with a soft hiss. Rian's body trembled on the bed. His eyes opened halfway. He saw the creature, and his breath caught in fear. Lyra, he whispered. You must stop it. They want the core. They want me dead. Lyra positioned herself between Rian and the creature. Her feet felt heavy. Her hands trembled. The creature paused only a short distance away. Its white eyes stared into hers. She sensed no emotion in those eyes. No anger, no mercy. It felt like looking into a void. The ship shook again. The lights flickered harder. Red emergency lights turned on and covered the room in a dull glow. The creature's shadow stretched across the walls like black branches. Lyra stepped back slowly. She tried to think of a plan. She tried to think of a weak point. But the creature's body looked like shifting mist. It did not look solid. She feared her tool would pass right through. The creature suddenly lunged forward. Lyra swung the metal tool. It passed through the creature, but created a bright spark of light. The creature hissed and pulled back. Its body flickered as if the light hurt it. Lyra realized something. Light. The creature feared light. She quickly grabbed the small emergency lamp from the table. She turned it on and held it toward the creature. A bright flash filled the room. The creature shrieked in a strange echoing voice. Its body twisted and pulled away from the light. It retreated to the corner of the room. Lyra felt her strength return a little. She stepped closer with the lamp. The creature pressed itself against the wall like it wanted to melt into it. Its glowing eyes dimmed. Its shape lost form. It looked weaker. Rian whispered, "They hate bright light. They live in dark space. Push it back. You can do it." Lyra moved the lamp closer. The creature moved along the wall, trying to escape the beam. Then it slipped through the small opening in the door and vanished into the hallway. The door shuttered and closed again. Lyra stood still for a long moment. Her hands shook. Her breath came in short bursts. She felt the fear finally settle inside her. She looked at Rian. His eyes slowly closed again from exhaustion. She hurried to his side. "Rian, you must stay awake," she said. "I cannot face these things alone." Rian struggled to speak. His voice broke with every word. "They will return. They do not stop. They want the core. They will break everything to get it." Lyra checked his pulse. It was weak. Too weak. The toxin was spreading faster than before. She looked at the broken drone on the floor. Its last message echoed in her mind, "Do not trust anyone." She looked at the door again. More shadows moved under it, many shapes. They were gathering. Lyra knew she had little time. She turned to the wall panel and forced the system to activate manual lockdown. The ship fought her, but she kept trying. The screen blinked with warning. After warning dot, then a deep sound echoed through the hall. Heavy footsteps. Not the shadows, something bigger. Something stronger. Rian opened his eyes again and whispered with fear. That is not them. That is worse. Lyra stood frozen. The footsteps stopped outside the door. The metal shook and a deep voice spoke. Open the door. Now. The deep voice outside the med bay made every muscle in Dr. Lyra's body freeze. It was not the voice of the shadow creatures. It was not the voice of any known crew member. It sounded rough. It sounded powerful. It carried a cold command that left no room for doubt. Open the door. Now. Lyra stepped back from the panel. Her heart hammered inside her chest. She knew the voice did not belong to any ally. She looked at Rian. His eyes were half open. He could barely move, yet fear showed clearly in his face. That is worse, he whispered. Another heavy step echoed outside. The metal at the bottom of the door bent from the force. Lyra backed away until she was beside the bed. She held the emergency lamp in one hand. It was the only thing she had. She prayed it would help. The door shook again. A large dent formed. Something was trying to break in. The red lights flashed over the room. The alarms beeped in long, slow warnings. The whole ship felt like it was holding its breath. Lyra tried the lockdown again. The system refused. The screen flashed red messages. No command worked. The door was going to break. Nothing could stop it. Rian tried to sit up, but he fell back. His breathing sounded thin and painful. Lyra, he whispered. If he gets inside, you must run. Do not stay for me. Lyra shook her head. She placed her hand on his chest to keep him calm. I will not leave you, she said in a soft but firm voice. I am your medic. I protect you. Rian tried to speak again, but his voice faded. He closed his eyes. His body trembled as the poison moved deeper through his blood. Lyra held the lamp tighter. Her hands felt cold. A deep roar came from outside. The door bent inward. A huge crack ran along the side. Shadows gathered around the opening. The shadow creatures stayed close, as if waiting for the larger force to enter first. Their glowing eyes stared into the room. Lyra felt sick from fear. Door broke open with a thunderous sound. Metal pieces flew across the floor. Dust filled the air. Lyra covered her face for a moment. When the dust settled, she saw a tall, dark figure step inside. The creature was enormous, twice the size of a human. Its body looked like living stone, with cracks of glowing red light across its chest and arms. Its eyes burned with a deep golden glow. Each step it took made the floor shake. Lyra felt her legs weaken. She could not understand how something this powerful entered the ship. She had no weapon that could harm it. The creature pointed at Rian. Its voice rumbled like thunder. The human must die. Stand aside. Lyra stepped in front of the bed. She held the lamp forward. Her voice shook, but she did not move. No, you will not touch him. The creature tilted its head. Golden eyes narrowed. It took another step. The shadow creatures moved around its feet like dark smoke, but did not enter the beam of the lamp. The creature growled. You protect him. Why? He is weak. He is dying. He carries the core map inside his mind. We need it. Move aside, or be destroyed. Lyra felt a spark of anger rise inside her fear. She lifted the lamp higher. He is my patient. He is under my care. If you need the core, you will not get it through killing him. The creature let out a low laugh. The sound was thick and cold. It lifted one massive arm. Dark energy swirled around its hand. The shadow creatures hissed in excitement. Lyra took a deep breath. She held the lamp steady. The bright light struck the creature's face. It growled in pain and stepped back. The cracks on its body glowed brighter. Rian opened his eyes a little. He looked at Lyra in disbelief. "You heard it," he whispered. Lyra kept the lamp pointed at the creature. "You fear the light," she said, with growing courage, just like the shadows. The creature roared. Its roar shook the room. It charged at her. Lyra jumped aside, and the creature hit the metal bed. The impact knocked tools and screens onto the floor. The lamp fell from Lyra's hand, but she caught it before it slid away. The creature turned toward her again. Its golden eyes burned even stronger. The shadow creatures circled around the walls, watching the fight like predators waiting for the moment to strike. Lyra raised the lamp again. Her voice rose with determination. "You will not take him. Not while I breathe." The creature charged once more. The light hit its chest. A loud scream filled the room. Everything turned white. The room vanished in a burst of white light. It swallowed every corner of the med bay. For a moment there was no sound. No ship, no shadows, no pain, only a bright, endless glow. Lyra felt herself float as if gravity had forgotten her. She tried to breathe, but the air felt thick and heavy. Then the light faded. The world returned in a sudden shock. Lyra fell to one knee, her vision blurred. Her ears rang with a loud hum. The lamp in her hand flickered and smoked. The creature stood in front of her. Its massive body shook with anger. Cracks of red light spread across its chest. Its eyes burned brighter than before. Lyra blinked away the haze. She felt weak, but she held the lamp close. It was dim now. The battery was almost gone. The creature looked down at her. It stepped forward. Its voice was deeper, rougher, filled with fury. "You think light will save him? You think you can stop war?" Lyra stood slowly. Her legs trembled. She placed herself between Rian and the monster once more. She spoke with a tired but steady voice. "I do not want war. I am a healer. I protect life." The creature pointed at Rian with a massive claw. "He carries the path to the core. He carries the memory code. He cannot live." Lyra shook her head. Her voice grew stronger. "He will live. I will save him." The creature hissed. The sound echoed through the med bay. The shadow creatures around the walls shifted in excitement. They looked like dark fog waiting for the moment to swallow everything. Rian moved on the bed. His breathing was weak. His voice barely reached her. "Lyra, you must run. I am slowing you down." Lyra turned to him. Her eyes softened. "You are not a burden. You are the mission." The creature roared at those words. The floor shook. A crack formed under its feet. It raised its arm to strike. Lyra lifted the lamp again. The light was faint, almost gone, yet the creature still moved back a little. Its fear of the light was clear. Lyra took a step forward. She pushed the lamp toward the creature. The dim glow hit its cracked chest. The creature growled in pain but did not retreat this time. Its anger was stronger than its fear. It charged at her. Lyra jumped back. The creature's arm hit the metal wall and left a deep dent. Sparks flew. The ship groaned under the force. Lyra slid across the floor but kept her grip on the lamp. She felt pain in her shoulder but forced herself to stand. The shadow creatures closed in. Their white eyes glowed. They crept across the walls like living stains. Lyra pointed the lamp at them. They moved away, but only a little. The dim light no longer frightened them. The creature turned toward her again. It spoke in a cold voice. "You are out of light. You have nothing left." Lyra looked at Rian. She looked at the creature. She looked at the lamp. Then she made her choice. She stepped forward. "I still have myself." The creature roared and moved toward her. Lyra swung the lamp. It struck the glowing crack on the creature's chest. A burst of sparks exploded. The creature stumbled back. The crack widened. Bright red energy spilled out like fire. The creature screamed in agony. Its body shook. Its arms thrashed wildly. The shadow creatures shrank against the walls. Lyra pressed the lamp deeper into the crack. The creature tried to push her away. Its strength was overwhelming. She felt her bones ache. She felt her muscles burn. But she did not let go. Rian opened his eyes. He saw the creature weakening. He tried to rise. His hands trembled. He could not stand. He grabbed the side of the bed. His voice cracked as he spoke. Lyra, the core is inside the crack. Hit the center. Hit it now. Lyra nodded. She raised the lamp high. She brought it down with all the strength she had left. The lamp shattered. A bright flash exploded from the crack. The creature screamed again. Its body broke apart into glowing shards. The red energy inside it burst like a star being torn open. The shadow creatures fled into the corners. The creature collapsed. The med bay fell silent. Lyra dropped to her knees. Her breath shook. The broken lamp lay beside her. Smoke rose from the creature's body. It no longer moved. Rian whispered with awe and fear, "You destroyed him." Lyra looked at the creature's remains. "No," she whispered. "I think we only made him angry." The floor rumbled. The ship groaned, and something deeper inside the hallway started moving toward the med bay. The floor trembled again. Dust drifted down from the ceiling. Dr. Lyra stared at the broken creature on the ground. Its glowing shards flickered like dying embers. For a moment she hoped it was finished. She hoped the danger had passed. But the tremors grew stronger. Something much heavier moved through the hallway. Rian tried to speak, but his voice cracked. "Lyra, you must leave. Something bigger is coming." Lyra shook her head. Her fear was real, but so was her promise. She stepped closer to him and checked his pulse with gentle hands. His skin felt colder than before. His heartbeat was weak. His breath came in slow, uneven waves. "You are not dying today," she said softly. "I will not let that happen." The ship growled again, as if something enormous pressed against its walls. A deep rumble echoed through the metal. The lights flickered and then settled on a dull red glow. Rian looked toward the door. His eyes trembled. "They sent a prime hunter," he whispered. Lyra had never heard that word. But Rian's fear told her everything she needed to know. She turned toward the hallway. She grabbed a small medical scanner from the table. The scanner shook in her hand, but she forced herself to stay steady. She pointed it at the doorway. The device beeped once. Then again. Then the screen showed a large shape. Bigger than the creature she had defeated. Much bigger. The shape filled the hallway. It moved slow but with heavy strength. Each footstep sounded like falling metal. Lyra felt her stomach turn. She whispered to herself, "This is impossible. Nothing this size should be on this ship." She heard the prime hunter breathing. It sounded like a furnace. The air grew warmer. A deep growl vibrated through the floor. The shadow creatures crawled into the highest corners of the room. They feared what was coming. That told Lyra the truth. This enemy was above them. It controlled them. Rian groaned in pain. His body curled slightly. The toxin had reached a critical point. Lyra rushed to the table and pulled open a drawer. She grabbed a tube filled with glowing blue liquid. She held it up to the light. "This can slow the poison, but only for a short time." She injected it carefully into Rian's arm. His breath steadied, but his eyes remained weak. He reached for her wrist with a shaking hand. "Lyra, listen to me. The Prime Hunter does not fear light. It does not fear weapons. It only fears one thing, the core memory in my mind. That is why. It wants me dead." Lyra stared at him. His words felt unreal. "You have the path to the core inside you. How?" Rian tried to smile, but his lips barely moved. "Memory link. Only I can open the core. That is why they chase us." Lyra felt the Weight of the truth hit her. She turned toward the door right as the hallway filled with a bright red glow. The Prime Hunter stepped into view. It was massive. Its body looked like moving armor. Black metal plates shifted like muscle. Its eyes burned with deep orange fire. Horn-like structures curled from its head. Each breath it took released a wave of heat. Lyra's heart pounded against her ribs. She stepped in front of Rian. She held no lamp, no weapon. Only her fear and her will. The Prime Hunter stopped at the doorway. Its voice rolled through the room like thunder. Human, surrender the memory. End your pain. Rian tried to rise. Again, but he fell back. He looked at the creature with tired defiance. I will never give you the core. Lyra stepped forward. She raised her chin. Her voice did not shake this time. If you want him, you must go through me. The Prime Hunter tilted its head. Its burning eyes studied her as if she were a strange insect. Then it stepped fully into the room. The floor bent under its weight. The temperature rose. The shadow creatures fled into the cracks of the ceiling. The Prime Hunter spoke again. Healer, you stand in my path. Move aside. Lyra did not move. No. The creature's chest glowed. Energy built up inside it. Sparks danced along its arms. The air smelled like burned metal. Lyra knew she had no weapon that could harm it. She knew she had no shield. Yet she stood firm. Rian lifted his head and saw what the Prime Hunter was preparing. His voice cracked in fear. Lyra, now. Lyra whispered back, I am not leaving. You. The Prime Hunter raised its arm. A red wave of energy gathered there. It aimed directly at Lyra and Rian. The attack fired. The med bay exploded with blinding red light. Everything shook. Everything cracked. And everything went silent. The red blast swallowed the med bay in a storm of burning light. Every surface glowed bright. Every wall shook. The floor bent under the force until it almost snapped. Then the light faded. The room fell into a deep silent darkness. For a long moment there was no sound. Not even breathing. Then a weak cough broke the silence. Dr. Lyra opened her eyes. Her body lay on the floor. Dust covered her arms. Her head throbbed with sharp pain. She pushed herself up slowly. Her muscles felt heavy. Her ears rang with a sharp, buzzing noise. She looked around the room. The med bay was destroyed. Machines lay shattered. The bed was twisted metal. The lights flickered on and off in tired pulses. Her heart stopped for a second. Rian was gone. Lyra scrambled to her feet. Her vision blurred, but she forced it to clear. She looked through the smoke and broken metal. Rian, she whispered in a shaking voice. Rian, answer me. The only sound was the weak hiss of broken wires. Panic surged through her chest. She climbed over fallen panels and shattered glass. She found the place where the bed had been. The metal was cracked. The floor was scorched. But Rian was not there. Lyra felt her breath tighten. She looked around again. She searched every corner. The fear grew stronger. Then she found a trail. Small marks on the floor. Drag lines. Burns from heavy armor. She followed them to the broken doorway. Her heart sank. The Prime Hunter had taken him. Lyra stepped into the hallway. The lights outside were dim. The walls were marked with deep scratches. The air smelled like smoke. The ship groaned as if it struggled to keep itself alive. Lyra leaned on the wall for support. She forced herself to breathe slowly. I will find you, she whispered. I promise. The hallway felt endless. Shadows clung to the corners. The small shadow creatures were gone. Even they feared the Prime Hunter. Lyra walked with slow steps. Her body ached, but her mind stayed sharp. She needed to find Rian. She needed to save him before the toxin killed him. She reached a lift door. It was broken. She pushed it open with her hands. Inside the lift shaft she saw the ladder. She climbed it carefully. Every step hurt her arms. Her breath became heavy, but she did not stop. The trail continued upward. After a long climb, she reached the next floor. A faint glow lit the hallway. A strange quiet lived there. Too quiet. She stepped out and followed the burn marks along the floor. They led to a large door marked with glowing letters. Core Access Deck. Lyra stared at the door. Cold fear crawled up her spine. The Prime Hunter was taking Rian to the core chamber. If it forced the memory out of his mind, the ship would fall. And if the ship fell, the core would fall into enemy hands. Entire worlds would be in danger. Lyra pressed her hand to the scanner. The panel buzzed but did not open. The system was locked. She tried again. No response. She looked down at the floor and found a small vent. It was wide enough for her to crawl through. She knelt down and opened it with effort. Inside the vent, the air felt warm. She crawled through the narrow space. The metal scratched her arms. Her breath echoed inside the tight walls. She moved forward until she reached an opening. She peered through the vent grid. Her heart froze. The Prime Hunter stood in the center of the core deck. Its massive body glowed bright from the cracks in its armor. The orange eyes burned with hunger. Rian lay on the floor in front of it. He was awake but too weak to stand. The creature towered over him. Lyra wanted to shout his name, but she stayed silent. She watched with fear. The Prime Hunter spoke in a slow, cold voice. You cannot run. You cannot hide. The memory inside you belongs to us. Give it freely. Spare yourself pain. Rian pushed himself up on one elbow. His voice was weak. You will not win. I will not help you. The creature lifted him by the arm. Rian cried out. In pain, Lyra covered her mouth to stop herself from reacting. She felt tears burn her eyes. She could not watch him suffer. She needed to move. She needed to stop this monster. The Prime Hunter placed Rian on a glowing platform near the core stabilizer. Red energy wrapped around him. He struggled, but the energy held him tight. The creature stepped back and raised its hand. A bright pulse formed at its palm. Lyra felt the panic explode inside her. If the pulse touched Rian, the memory would break. His mind would shatter. He would die. Lyra crawled backward from the vent. Her breath trembled. Her hands shook. She reached the hallway again. She looked at the sealed door. She looked at the vent. I need a plan, she whispered. The floor shook again. Time was running out.